Terrible, awful, horrible. You can choose many words to describe what just happened to the New England Patriots. T. Higgins, the latest news did come out, and I wasn't happy about it, so I know Patriots fans are not going to be happy about it. Let's just put it this way. Our dreams are over. Why? Because franchise tagging is available tomorrow, Tuesday, February 18th, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, all the way until March 4th. Allie, that's not that bad. Franchise tagging happens every single year. No, you're right. That's not bad. This is what is bad. Breaking news, the Cincinnati Bengals will franchise tag wide receiver T. Higgins, which of course was our top target in free agency to try and finally get a 1,000-yard receiver to play for the New England Patriots. The number one name on not just the Patriots list, but every other NFL team's free agent list out there. Well, it's over. The dream is dead. And right now, I hate nobody more than the Cincinnati Bengals. Please, feel this hate with me. If you're mad that T. Higgins is no longer coming to New England, go on ahead and type F CIN in the comment section. F Cincinnati. So what exactly does this mean for Higgins and the Bengals moving forward? Well, last year, the Bengals tagged Higgins, and there wasn't much dialogue about a long-term contract. He was the only player that was tagged by his team last year that didn't sign a multi-year extension. This year feels different. The Bengals plan to sign the star receiver to a long-term deal, sources say. Ouch. So it's not just a franchise tag for another year and maybe T. Higgins can demand a trade. It looks like the Bengals are now actually getting a clue and realizing that they have a phenomenal trio in Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, and they want T. Higgins to be a Bengals for the foreseeable future. How that's going to play out in terms of salary-wise, I'm not exactly sure. But I know for a fact that Higgins wanted to stay. He mentioned that he wanted to be a Bengal. Joe Burrow begged and pleaded to the media, to everybody, that he wants to keep that trio alive. And now T. Higgins, who says he wants to be a Bengal, right? Instead of feeling it out in free agency. Congratulations, T. Higgins. You will now not make as much money as you would if you came to play for the New England Patriots. If money's what you wanted, you settled for the cheaper option. He is now expected to make $26.8 million. Boo-hoo. I mean, the guy is basically poor, right? Obviously not. But we do know that the expected pay range he was supposed to have in New England was around $33 million. That's a pretty significant pay cut for an NFL player. So now a top target is gone before free agency even starts. This feels like Patriots juju. Not Smith-Schuster, just bad juju for the Patriots moving forward. But I'm also known to be a drama queen. But this is real. The top free agent is already gone. And we haven't even entered free agency yet. Cincinnati knew what they had, and they jumped on it. But the good news is, if there's any, you always got to find the light at the end of the tunnel, is that there are other free agents out there. And thankfully, your host, Allie Barefoot, made a video a while back saying, look, I don't even think T. Higgins is going to come to New England. I'm going to be honest, I didn't. I thought this was going to play out. Did I let my hopes get a little bit high? Yeah, but this makes the most financial sense for Cincinnati. Unfortunately, this sucks for New England, but there are other top targets out there. I have actually really liked Chris Godwin as a target for a wide receiver in New England since his injury in Tampa Bay. You're probably thinking, Allie, why his injury? Well, I think this makes him a little less attractive to other teams in the NFL and a little bit more desirable to New England. They're going to be able to get a guy coming fresh off an injury that is going to want to try and provide for another team. He is actually currently the second best free agent wide receiver. He is coming off an ankle dislocation, which really, really sucks for Tampa Bay. But if he can come back fully healthy, I think the Patriots could get a nice revamped Chris Godwin in New England. And I think that he could act as a good slot for May. He could run as that wideout option. We've seen that happen in Tampa Bay, but Mike Evans was always that number one guy for Baker Mayfield. Chris Godwin definitely could have been. I mean, these numbers don't scream automatic wide receiver 2 to me, but 50 receptions for almost 600 yards in just 7 games played. Keep in mind, Demario Douglas had about 620 yards in 10 more games played. Obviously averages a first down and 5 touchdowns on the season. I think Chris Godwin right now is our best bet as Patriots fans to look forward to the future. T. Higgins is gone, but Godwin is still a very good wide receiver that is hopefully going to have something to prove next year, and I think that he could prove that in New England. So my question for you guys now is, do you want Chris Godwin? T. Higgins is gone. That dream is dead. Godwin, a very real possibility. He may still also want to go back to Tampa Bay as they made the playoffs this last year, but overall, maybe he's looking for a fresh start. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Haven't talked too much about Amari Cooper. We do know that he played for 2 different teams last year with the Cleveland Browns and then the Buffalo Bills. Not the number 1 target here for Josh Allen in the last couple of games, but overall, throughout his course in the season, I think he did fairly well for adjusting to 2 different offenses, 2 very different offenses. This guy went from Deshaun Watson / Jameis Winston to Josh Allen. 85 targets, 44 receptions, 547 yards with 4 touchdowns tagged on. Once again, Amari Cooper, more of a wide receiver too in the systems that he has been in over the last year, but obviously would be the new wide receiver 1 for the Patriots if they do decide to sign him in free agency. Do I think this should be the only move, as if a T. Higgins was your only move? No. I think you should still try to bolster your wide receiver room either via trade or by the draft, but I do think Amari Cooper provides that veteran presence that he's been looking for Drake May. And he also does have a little bit of a connection with Mike Vrabel. Not as strong as when Vrabel coached in Tennessee, but we do know that he worked for the front office for Cleveland this past season, so I'm sure they cross paths at some point. So maybe Vrabel could call up an old friend over in Cleveland, say, hey, do you have any connections with Amari Cooper? What's going on? Talk to me a little bit, see what he was saying while they did cross paths. But another connection to Mike Vrabel could also just be a bona fide veteran in DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, his production's gone down just a little bit in 2024, not nearly the superstar that he was, but, I mean, he did go and recently play for the Super Bowl contenders for the Kansas City Chiefs after he was traded from the Tennessee Titans. Once again, he is a producer year in and year out. This year, not as much, played 1 less game, but he is coming off a 2023 1,000-yard season, and obviously he has a lot of connections here with Mike Vrabel as they did coach and play the same year in Tennessee. But he was traded to the Chiefs for now a 3rd overall pick. Didn't have the largest game, obviously, in the Super Bowl because nobody on Kansas City's team really did. And right now, PFF does have him as the number 5 ranked wide receiver, but overall, he's the 14th wide receiver. So you're still getting a prime talent. And for the Patriots wide receiver core, I don't think we can really afford to be that picky. I know you're probably thinking, well, D-Hop's washed. Okay, you want to go another season with Demario Douglas? Probably not. But D-Hop could be a good addition to that wide receiver room. And with franchise tagging starting off tomorrow, I do want to remind you guys to go on ahead and follow me on X at AR Barefoot. If anything happens with the Patriots or anything that involves the Patriots, I will tweet about it first on my Twitter, and then I will come to YouTube, make a video. But if you guys want the news instant, fresh, hot off the press, follow me on X at AR Barefoot. Now, I know I haven't talked about this guy yet. New York Giant Darius Slayton. Let's be honest, the Giants, they're about as bad as the Patriots this season. But Darius Slayton is one of those bright lights in a system that really just wasn't working for him. And I know that being so close to New England, maybe this isn't the right destination for the free agent. I don't think this is the hottest target you could possibly go after in free agency. But once again, do you want to watch Jalen Polk highlights for another year? Probably not. Slayton, 71 targets. A hot commodity there for Daniel Jones for the meantime. Then, 9 other quarterbacks for New York. 39 receptions, 573 yards. Arguably his best season did come 2023, 2022, but maybe that's when Daniel Jones actually knew how to throw a football. He could become a top target for Drake May. Definitely in that system of Josh McDaniels will be able to provide. But right now, PFF has him ranked the 7th best wide receiver in free agency. So we're still staying within the top 10. Darius Slayton, obviously not the hottest item out there. But once again, you can still build around Slayton and Demario Douglas and Hunter Henry, but you still need to add a little bit more options to that core. And I'll leave that option to you guys. I named number 2, number 5, number 7. There are still guys out there in the free agent market. Which wide receiver should the Patriots sign in free agency? Now that T. Higgins screwed all my plans and all my future videos here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. And keep in mind, these are still some trade targets that we've discussed about on the channel. I'm talking about A.J. Brown tomorrow again because there are new reports coming out every single day, new quotes from these guys about maybe looking for their next destination. A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf. These are all, albeit some harder than other, but potential options to sign and trade for in this offseason. So don't think that free agency is the only option. They have a number 4 pick in the NFL draft, which they could get Teteroa McMillan with. You could sign Cooper, trade for Cooper Kupp, sign Teteroa McMillan, pick up Darius Slayton. I mean, your wide receiver core just took a hell of a turn, even though we missed out on Higgins. Last but not least, if you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. If anything does happen with the Patriots or involves the Patriots, I'll talk about it right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. All you guys have to do is subscribe.